Memwakwa baba Adkwart Studios. Abranche bi oho no ma me pena sempa. I always say one day meshia. Na okasa utumi se otumi atranse aye nhwehwemu ansa na odina sema babontin. Na okan sem bi a eye Ghana fo nyina dadwen. Hwe baabi a duro no Galamsey nsem no. Mama yi amanyosem firi mukra. Na Ghana ni bia hu ne yi se yenye kon. Na me de na me kan se as a nation yentumi anko antia Galamsey. Na oman bi ebeto ahye enso a ane ebetumi. Yenko ti abrante ne nsem a hoka.
I'm beginning to be very suspicious and worried over the loyalty of our current president, ladies and gentlemen. And I need you to hear me out till the very end. I won't lie to you and I won't play their videos on my platform. But the evidence of NDC ranking members who are directly and indirectly involved in Galamsey activities in Ghana are simply overwhelming. Ladies and gentlemen, from the moment this government came to office, I mentioned on my TikTok platform that the majority of their high-ranking members who were making noise about how NPP sympathizers were engaging in Galamsey and destroying Ghana were not doing it for the love of the, but they were doing so to replace them. Let me say what Julius Malema once said. He said the ANC party in South Africa were not fighting for freedom because they wanted to help their people, but they did so because they were jealous of the power the apartheid government had and the benefits it came with. That's exactly what's happening in the illegal gold mining industry in Ghana. I said this from the very beginning, and my prediction has come to pass, that the noise these guys were making was only to take the past government out and replace them with a bunch of guys or people who will do exactly what those guys were doing. All over the country, from Ashanti region to the eastern region and to the western region. Ladies and gentlemen, NDC top members and small-scale miners who are connected to people at the very top or are capable of paying briberies are actively engaging in Galamsey mining and destroying rivers, forests, farms, even right now as I speak to you. Right now, and I hope the president is listening because he's too silent. There are forests that are right now being broken into with not less than 20 excavators and a military team at a strategic point to deter intruders. Those soldiers are not sent there to work in the interest of the countries, ladies and gentlemen. Those soldiers are sent there to make sure that no media, no secret filming, and no outside eyes sees what's happening in those reserved places. President Mahama, do you know of such reports or not? Ladies and gentlemen, I love this industry. I know the potential the gold industry has to change the lives of everyone in the country. And therefore, I'm always connected to what's going on the ground. But ladies and gentlemen, there is no indication that the effort of the president and the military deployed is going to bring about any real and sustainable changes. The entire system is corrupt from the top down. There is no love for the country anymore. These guys in office come in with their own agenda, and it's no different from the agenda of the past government. Trust me, they are one in the same thing. And I'm suspicious because ever since the government tasted the money from the gold board, I knew two things were about to happen. And I need you to bear with me on this. Please pay attention to this part. The government of Ghana, through the gold board that we just set up, raised $6 billion from small-scale mines in 6 months. These are their reports, ladies and gentlemen. $6 billion from small-scale mines through the gold board in 6 months. And you know who is mining and paying off those monies is small-scale. Tell me this. Do you think they will do anything that has the potential of cutting off the money they are getting from the small-scale miners? 6 billion? Do you think they will do anything to stop or cut off that kind of money coming in, ladies and gentlemen? They've tasted this new inflow of money and made noise about it. And I stated that if the government doesn't get into mining itself, this will become a problem in the future. And I'm beginning to suspect that this problem I mentioned is what is happening. Because the government have realized how much money there is in the small-scale mining sector. It will be very difficult for them to shut it down, especially shutting down from those places where the chunk of the money or the gold is produced. Even when they are doing the wrong thing, they cannot shut it down because that is where the revenue for the state is coming from. This is my suspicion, ladies and gentlemen. Those places are so rich in gold and in alluvial. Instead of the government thinking of how to take back all these mines and turn them into state mines and do proper mining themselves, they negotiate with these miners and hope they do the right thing. Ladies and gentlemen, land reclamation is one of the biggest challenges in this country and in that industry. It costs so much to put the land back into its original state, and therefore miners won't. It is as simple as that. Very simple. They won't. It's only a handful of small-scale miners who reclaim their lands. When you interview them, they'll tell you they are not done mining yet. That's why it looks the way it looks. They will tell you when they finish, they will reclaim the land, and ladies and gentlemen, that will be it. They will not do it. That is the practice in the system right now. As I speak with you now, many of those who were stopped from mining are back and mining actively, and others who were completely shut down have been replaced instead. Nothing of significance has happened since the NDC government took office when it comes to the fight against Galamsey. Therefore, the rivers are still polluted. The river color is still brown and will continue to be brown and spread it into other uncontaminated rivers. The problems remain the same, ladies and gentlemen. Illegal miners are mining in the forest reserves and others in the river banks and others in the river itself. Ladies and gentlemen, those you see on TV arrested are those who have no support from top people in government, or those who have no money to bribe their way through, or those who do so just for survival reasons. Ladies and gentlemen, the war on Galamsey has completely broken every security code in this country. The level of ammunition in the hands of Galamseyers is beyond what you've been told. Every Galamsey site right now is as armed as the soldiers who go there themselves. It is very armed. And in addition to that, ladies and gentlemen, they have their intel on when soldiers are coming from the very top. These miners have bribed their way to establish contacts with the government people at the very top to have first-hand knowledge on when operations are to be organized. They are tough to beat and corruptive. They are very contagious with their money. They have no plans of stopping. Whatever you do, they are not going to stop. In fact, they don't see nor hear anything that has to do with land reclamation or forest preservation. Ladies and gentlemen, all they see is the gold in the land, money to be allowed to mine no matter the government in power. This has been their strategy before and is the strategy even now. It cannot stop until there is a complete shutdown of the mining industry. There must be a complete shutdown, and the government must recall every license issued, especially to small-scale miners, and permanently station the military across the country. Then, ladies and gentlemen, the government must immediately get into mining itself. This is the only way out. You cannot shut them down and leave the land idle when they know what is there. You cannot do that. Get up from the comfort of your offices and get on the field where the real job is. Ladies and gentlemen, this is to the government officials. The need for state mines is now. We need to control how mining is done, ladies and gentlemen. But because you don't want to do this, you will need to depend on small-scale miners for the inflow of revenue, and they will do as they think profitable. Ladies and gentlemen, you are only making noise of a clampdown on illegal mining. But for some of us, for someone like me, I know you don't mean it, because you will need money to balance your national budget. And small-scale mining has proven in the last 8 months that it is capable of supporting the financing of the state. These are facts. You don't have an alternative source of funds to run the country. And you don't want to go around borrowing like the former government borrowed, because that is what you preached against. And you don't have any industries to depend on for revenue. And therefore, it is safe for me to conclude that you will have to allow for miners to mine in order to get your revenue. Welcome to Ghana, ladies and gentlemen, where everything is a mirage. Mr. President, I hope this message finds you well. I'm Cyrus, and this is Tuntum Network in Accra, Ghana. Be sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell for more of my videos.
We didn't Cyrus, no, Yamin Shroud. Yamin Shroud, said, we are Ghana. Ghana, Debbie, American, Ghana for near Norson. Ghana for Norson. Ghana for Norson. Now, Massima and American say MPP ni NDC. Omoni munse mwasa. Say, Evedra Batroswa, Omuni Asimbia Kanchira Oma we PM. Omoni munse mwasa. Because Mrana MPP ohono. The da na NDC for a year. Not just NDC for do mine. And Yabenya MPP for Omutri more ding na Omo Shema say you. Has some joy. It me the Ghana flag body comb. Galamsey must stop now. Akufo-Addo must stop Galamsey now. Hey, muye nyachum. Muye nyachum. Na muhu Ghana amanyofo no. Muhu mesi minyi otwe nyi adoa. Muhu na muhu ni ntino. Mwanwe ya Adakubi ubeti asemu amompe. Yep. Asemu abrantie kan nyina ne se de da na NDC 4 year no. Na eye wo mo ya se MPP 4 wo tumi nti wo de tu Galamsey. Tiba omo bani nyina no na omo ba se dia MPP 4 year no ye ba beye na ye kura de ye beye mana che. O say onsro say Galamsey no NDC 4 mpanimfo nyina de omo agi. Bibusa say yampa. Yeah, me catch them all. From Antioda. From Antioda. And I'm not drinking some say be been too. Assassin will ra. Assassin will ra. Na assassin the day Asha one son and Casa, new run and Casa Becasa. New run and Casa Becasa. Na mobile I was mean Krumu and ye were you. Na yaman penny Casa Yeno and the Diana Mika in your branty aircan. O man penny Bejina Hawkeye say Nanka ye 2 gold no percentage ya na enyedi. Na small scale miners no e de we aka ho amianya we nti wadwen so obejai dabi. Ojina no kan say Galamsey adwuma no the jaya no nya bete o. Nti edi na mo wo opposition na ma no den. Edi na mo opposition na ma no den na oman na mo do. Anase na omonchum omo na mo messe no nche de na omo ese no ya ka se Ghana ye ni sidifo a na mo nti ase ka Galamsey no na da asante ni ka se na hwan na tumi pia bontin asante hina ye mfa nse odi asante man so Okaso obi na obi antimi ampie. De minim ni se Galamsey no stop ni nyam twumwom. Na ankane no MPP tam no omtumi ko shimfidie na de won kwa chichiri kra o. Na enfidie bi nso gu ba bi a omode ye adwuma. Ghana for ye no so. As a Ghana for door so pano. And ye will be our dear nim. Na opeja on my Ghana every proyemu. Akwa ni monyamua. Enka o mehwe yensuo mensuo no ntoa so nye kosa. Hwe asema ye kan na mumu bi edi nnua sisi maso. Na asafu say na babonti beka Galamsey ho asem. Ayemfo sen na wo mo afa asem we say omo kan ho asem. That be because enkrofo wu omo mfa ho. Amanyafo a nipa wu a omo mfa ho. Because ebensu a omo sika de be krensu anom. Nanke akoswa ma oko nothing regional. She MPs a omo free nothing region. Enso ebepim ne wo mo nantwie enwan emponchi ni nipa nyina no nsuo baako. Emfa wo mo because they are make no wo mo abaha abe ware asantifo aware mfantifo aware bunufo enti wo mo kra kan se wo ma no nya de on do be conducting region bi enti oman no ase wona ye de tumi ahye won sa no omo mfa ye ho na de se omo ko si gold refine na omo ko si a near stop Galamsey na gold burn ye de be ko enti katasumu emu asu ana omo ye katasumu emu asu ana omo ye mrewi abrantie bi ba bontin sa na o kire ense Galamsey a wo mutu ekwan ni na o mutu Galamsey no o se NDC chairman bi na etio Ghana has say chairman won tumi nkwa ni ache no adan mi busa say enti chairman won tumi nkwa and 2 gold no bi Ghana chairman won tumi nkwa and 2 gold no bi chairman won tumi nkwa na say yensuo mumya hwe ne ma bi yi o ma yan hwe ne ma bi yi na se emfie be enan na se MDC fom be disu na enyansuo no mu a ya ma basemu petumi bi ya ma basemu petumi ne enfatumi sa nhye monsa ne MPP for ya o mo hwe ase o mo hwe fom won anisu bidie kura no anti won anisu no because no o mo adwen on say abade de kwan bia so be wini afi ya bo baba no a o mo ti say o mo MPs ne etete hwe no and o mo say asembe na aba asembe na aba Ghana for no so na Ghana for dos no a ajapade kase nyamede ama yensuo enkane tete no se tutra bi ba se omo free ba bi na omo ba omo hwe ba bi on benye nsuo because omo anya nsuo a on asetena ye den enti omo chichiri kura ye chichiri ben ba bi nsuo ena de abufo timodinfo ba yi aye na wia ena mo se Ghana ajapade mentiasio enti Galamsey nko ne twinyi sika ho na NDC for the moye madwin se mo pagya gold mu ti mo mfa ho se yensuo be se ye na mahwe ase ba akopa no se mo ahwe ne mayi a onim o se wo ma mo chi wo mo de akire no wo mo a omo ni obi kan o ma se ma o ena mo chi wo de won be kire se Galamsey no we are fighting Galamsey. Now, you should tell us that you have joined Galamsey, not fighting against Galamsey. Mumba country and say, Galamsey, no, more than Muako boom. When Muako come, then yes, some more country and say more Kutia Galamsey. It's a lie. They are true. But see, I'm ready, me drive free, Kokofu. So, offer Kokofu Kwana, Udi Kokusiesi one, me who dream me. Samra na MPP for na was no mo kasa den na me be ban siwa no am say na emfidi egu aseye awiamfo ban mpanyinfoɔ no ankyɛ ɛna hɔm ayifoɔ no bi ba abɔnten bɛka ɛsɛ obi ntumi stop no na nea moyɛ agyedi mfaso sɛ munyɛ sika wei nyinaa no na mosɛe wɔ man wei a mfaso bɛɛ na mbɛnya mode Galamsey ɛsɛe Ghana nyinaa mfaso bɛɛ na mbɛnya MPP for no bi da so mutu because eduru baby na won ka no kura wontumi ma obi a wodi atro nkana no ntum ade na NDC for me yes ah enti mbepetumi no de na obe ni o na den na nkwala bi tumi ba bontin se Galamsey de o mu nja yeda because omo echa omo achi me na me ye o man pania nanga Galamsey no say yes stop no de din ohinfa mpatemu bia ohine wo ho o man hine wo ho na wa fra o man hine na ka kire ni say efi na ekọ se wo ba bia wo da no metis obi etu Galamsey a mechew na fe ekọ nkron ketuam na ekọ assembly man for na ekọ wona won sase won dia mama yetu Galamsey no ka be da ne Galamsey ne yetu because ahemfo no wo mu bi what does more can o si asoja for na ye small no omo nko se omo ko stop Galamsey no omo ko bo omo ho ne ban me ka kire me wura dunkwa ana dunkwa nkura na sibia omutu Galamsey no na ekoduru camp bi no Chinese ni bi etuo ne nkraman a etuo okuta no Ghana soja for no kura ni bi ana ogira on na etuo no kura no na enkraman Chinese ni o ana mbusa ai say eyedai o no consider udi agrombekum atutu from the way we rose is here yatie memu enti mo hwa ma abro we akwakosi da be mo hwa ma atirimodin we akosi da be ama awiemfo bia onye sika entoduane ni a enkobetimi afa the bucket akopra ho akota na ho no ase nsuo no na se ani nya kro abefia babe no se nsuo no adane eka adane ateche enti awudie we yakoso mu hu o man pani o just my branch enika o se woni ye kire se wonye ready so best stop Galamsey woni ye ene ne awo kire no kire se na ai Joseph Yami timi kan se timi ba bontin be kan se Mr. President hwe ana wa me kan se bia na mo wasuo gya ya na mo kasa anko ho enti NDC for mo so ba be yi fra you what they say bearers mo wa be gira anim se yanto aba ma mo biem sani MPP for yi wo mo die wo mo yi wo mo so mbedi o man be so Ghana so because o man ayefo ye koto ba Ghana for no so enti Ghana for nya ne o mo pe ase ka Ghana for do so pa me si MPP ni NDC this say ka mo ba system no mo biem me so se meka asema me kan so ya Ghana ni a me say senka Ghana for ya do so pa nanka ya tu aba say Ghana for me say nka MPP ni NDC mo ma system no mo biem because for all these years ma or mine and I'm go so because mo bit me cousin na say Ghana the MPP ni NDC and now sada here edu baby e come to me di yatama edu ba bia yata e kire ne mesua o se munsu se obi ntumi ye be kwakuo ka kire se bo se kire o man se bibi betumi ye ya na mo se Ghana sika no na mo de bom ho safo hine a ya na madwen yam se bibiara ntumi mo ya na madwen yam se bibi ntumi nkam wo be ya na madwen yam se mawie but ekwan ya dem animu no ware de du ba bia nya osika na de uko de du ba bia wo hia nyame na wo dan wani hwe wachi na wo hwe ne ya waye na nyame ne din kura no wo beto mum o nyame din ho ontimi mo ni din bedan ka nyame ene so bie wa no ebo ni din na nko ajewo ada na mo me mo bosa ada na mo Ghana politicians mo ma Ghana ye ho tietie ne ye ho hia sa ada ya mo dai adi pa na o my Ghana ya mo amanyafo ibusam boni ben pa ena Ghana fo ya mo na mo di atirimodin tete ya sa mo mfa bibia ho Messi MPP ni NDC mo ni mo asa mo beka economic growth anasa mo beka de assembly e de assembly na mo ma yin bio ma buyen abra yesu ba bia yempe na mo de yeko enso mo se yemie ano na mo mfe enko ba bia yempe because yani na edit minimum mede masem ba ye o ya Ghana ni a se sawadwen free MPP ni NDC ho wo ya Ghana ni a se sawadwen free MPP ni NDC ho so you be a usro nyankopon na onim ye se nature nyankopon de amayan se mo ho ban a se sawadwen free MPP ni NDC ho na sa party mi ni o mo amaso mbeboan o mo nim o mo ana omunim kwayan faso eche o man na dwapade efa so suro nyankopon a na bom paye me nyankopon ekasa kiro ne nyankopon pese utintim trene ewo asase we so dia yi MPP ne NDC adwen free mu because omunya ne eso nyankopon ani yekoto aba kombe ma bibi kitu abiadi na wasa ba be ye dede akeka ya sum na ya sa konko asum mfie nan yensuo na eseye no Madagascar ensuo ene light ene ma omba bontin ene ku asojafo afo man no tire omiantra na yanyi adwen se Ghana de bibia ntimi nsi edu ba bi na oji ban na ensuo ne bodompim na ensuo no ahodin no ese otwi afa ban no so a wa woji ban no edo ahwe ensuo no ebedin ka atwi akọ ti bambo bia mabọ atwa mo asi amadwen am se bibi ntumi mo no bibi betum you can't see you say man I'm so passionate ana me ya enkanene mtumi ko gina ensu ya atoto ne magum na me ho meti because na ye afuo bi ye fro no meda na ohwe odapa a esubontieti na niema ya tuagu nsuo no mu otumi nyina ho na ensu etene ebon nipa dwem boni nti na what me de baby a wugya wanan na the pipe ababa tunsium adenti wundasmie so wonwene ba uma kuma sia wo mo atiti nsuo wonyina no alle pipe akoto tunsium a wo gye wo manan a wo ni ayi aye tuo se ya yes menti janana kugum na edu ba bi aka ba betwe da bi na obi kura ne nkane no de na ye yi fra yi no ensu ato no na ono abegina gatem na wo hwe jan adan de na hai enko obi fie onfa ho because a tranic gata na nko na ba bi ensu no be fa bia onfa ye tiri mo den dodo na ne nyina kire se Ghana for ye no so Mr. Odian ye kan o Galamsey o ye o ye software kan ho asem kire o ma kan ho asem brabontin be kasa se de je kwatin e kasa yi o ye ohene na do o mpesa so ba bi a o do a fanasi form ye ya sient chiri won o tonton so asema Galamsey for no ya je chi won o Galamsey ni betwa se nka soja for ne soja for mo ko kam du hon ma na mo chi assemblyman wo ayi district no nyina na ya hwe se nka Galamsey no o mu njaya mi ko baby na onse gold no edu bia no ko pieso enti aho ti sa abosia nipa na oni edi nkomo no o se asoja fo e baaye no na omo wuro omo singlet na omo se sanwe na egu ye ko brewuo enso ye son parfum na nenam ya ma ne body say mo ene hwe ni tie na wo ye Ghana ni a ma wo yam hyehyeu we are Ghana near soon because baby or mine any action. I rahusem. Bo any bye bye.